Ready, doctora.
Okay. We can start?
Yes, we can start.
Okay. Well, good morning to everyone. My name is Norma Munoz. I am a mentor, pop mentor, and I welcome you to this session. I will introduce you my colleagues that will help us today with the meeting today. And one of them is Vanessa Hernandez. She is working on the moderation with me. And Michelle Herrera, that she is a coordinator of this session. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to all of you. It's with a great pleasure that today we give you the most cordial of welcomes to the second International Conference and POP 2020 Festival for Youth Climate Action. We hope you feel comfortable today and enjoy the series of conferences, workshops, and projects of young leaders, which we have prepared for you throughout these 5 days of intense activities. This morning, the topic of our session is Voices of Action and Inspiration. Today, we will have the honor of receiving Mr. Zhang, president of the Broad Group from Shanghai, China, who has sent us a pre-recorded video, and Mr. Samuel Okori from the Pop Movement of Nigeria, who will present his project on Safe School. Before starting the session, I give the floor to my colleague Vanessa, who will give us some messages of interest to all of us. The floor is yours, Vanessa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Dr. Norma. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this great session. We're all thrilled to have you here. We would like to kindly ask you to mute your microphones in order to remove any background noise. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We will resolve them once we finish the session. Please follow us on social media to stay informed about POP activities. We are going to share our webpage and also our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube through that chat. And if you are going to make a post about this session, we encourage you to use the hashtag POP Movement, hashtag POP Festival 2020, hashtag Climate Action Now, and hashtag December 2020. We are going also to send the link to register for future workshops. We are having great workshops today and tomorrow, so you still have the opportunity to enjoy them. And also we are going to share that registration link for POP. If you want to be part of POP, you can make your registration on that link. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Norma to introduce Mr. Zhang. Thank you, Doctora.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Yes, well, our first guest, Mr. Zhang, Dr. Zhang Yu, founder and chairman of Broad Group, developed a series of innovation products aimed at solving China's environmental problems. Broad Group's products, services, and management were guided by values that prioritized moral responsibility, environmental protection, and energy conservation. Zhang's current focus was broad sustainable building, a unique prefabricated building technology that was significantly more environmental friendly than traditional building methods, as well as much less expensive. Dr. Zhang Yu was awarded the Champions of the Earth Award Entrepreneurial Vision category by the United Nations Environmental Program for Broad's commitment to climate change. It was one of the 10 companies to be recognized by the Business Week Greener China Business Awards in 2009. It was also named one of the 20 most admired companies in China in 2001, 02, 04, and 2005 by China's Economic Observer and Peking University. Can we get a video, please, that we have pre-recorded? Thank you so much.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
给全世界一个强烈的信号，我们人类是很脆弱的，人类是很脆弱的，人类是不能跟大自然抗争的。围绕着这个问题呢，我最近一直在想，这个世界应该下一步怎么样走，怎么样让我们的这个人类生活得更安全。全世界呢都有一个追求发展的这个强烈的愿望，不管穷国家富国家，这个也许是对的，但是另一方面我们要想到发展的这个负面的东西，我们要怎么样去尽量的限制它，减少它。很少人想这个问题，尤其是成年人，忙于这个应对这个现实中的难题，他们很少去思考长远的未来。但是未来呢，又是很现实的，它一定会报复我们的。地球的这个二氧化碳的排放会超出我们气候能承受的极限，地球的这个污染物也会把我们海洋里面的每一滴水都污染掉。人类太渺小了，如果说我们任其目前这样发展下去，比新冠疫情更严重的灾难还在等着我们。就在我们这一代人就会发生，甚至于就是我今年60岁了，甚至于就在我有生之年就可能看得到全球性的气候灾难，全球性的粮食减产，全球性的洪水，全球性的这个极端天气，那样造成的这个生命的损害就更加大面积。怎么样解决这个问题呢？我对我们这一代人已经不是很有希望了。我们这一代人被消费主义已经教育得很根深蒂固了，只能是寄希望于下一代。所以我特别希望的能够我们的下一代能够意识到，我们的每一天的行为都在为我们的未来，都在改变我们的未来。从小学我们就应该开始对环境对未来进行教育。青少年的教育呢，应该着眼于他们的消费方式。我们人类呢其实需要的东西不多，吃好穿暖就可以了。如果说我们无限度的去消费，我们住巨大的房子，我们不断的全球旅游，然后不断的去用了就扔，不论是衣物还是各种用品，这样的世界呢就不会有未来。我们应该去追求更高质量的精神生活。如果在物质生活方面呢，我们应该更多的去追求有机食物、耐用的产品，追求耐用的产品，追求有机食物，它使我们的生活质量变得更高，使我们精神更充实，身体更健康。所以我认为对青少年的教育就是生活方式的教育，只需要把生活方式的教育做好了，每一个青少年不去为了虚荣，为了刺激而去制造更多的垃圾，制造更多的碳排放，他们也会过得更幸福，地球也更有未来。去年呢，我还跟潘基文一起在倡导一个中小学的这个环境教育的这个教材的这么一个方案。我们希望能够从中小学生的学制教育这个阶段、这个角度去改变我们中小学生的，改变我们下一代的这个价值观、生活方式、生活态度，进而改变我们整个未来的这个人类的生活方式。可以，如果说有这样的一个，如果说每个国家都在教育体系里面进行这 下一代是有可能从思想上改变的，是有可能从短视的、狭隘的追求发展、追求消费，转向有远见的、有约束的、理性的生活方式，也包括经济，也包括科技，都应该是着眼于未来。我们一定要意识到人类是脆弱的，我们的下一代一定要行动起来，我们的教育体系要行动起来，我们的政府主管教育的人要行动起来。当然通过我们的这个下一代，我还是看得到希望的，我对下一代是有希望的，我相信他们的观念的改变会给我们带来一个美好的未来。 POP 呢是一个非常好的环境组织，这个帕恰里先生创办这个组织的初衷是希望能够全世界的青少年能够行动起来，能够为未来着想。那么现在帕恰里先生已经离开我们了，那么他的儿子在继承这份事业。我也相信像我一样的很多人，帕恰里的追随者，很多的追随者都希望 POP 能够对全世界的青少年的环境教育发挥更大的作用，希望我们的这个声音能够滋润青少年幼小的心灵，使他们在未来有正确的生活方式，使他们能够既自己更幸福，又更少的伤害环境。
Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing this pre-recorded video from Dr. Shan Yu, a global leader that encouraged us to take climate action. It's a great honor to receive this inspirational message. So now we would like to present our second panelist, that is Samuel C. Okeri. He's a social researcher, citizen volunteer, and passionate about rural and community development. He is climate activist, environmentalist, and social justice advocate for women and children. With over 3 years of professional field working experience in development sector on climate, environment, education, gender, and social justice advocacy, he has many certifications. And also, he has been part of many associations and many global forums where he has been participating as a speaker and as a panelist. Thank you so much, Samuel, for being here with us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to have you in this great session.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Sorry?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm Samuel Okeri, and I'm a Nigerian. And I want to say hi to everyone out there, and also congratulate everyone out there as well who has been able to make it to the Youth Festival. Is really worth anticipating, and I'm really happy that I'm here. So let's just go on with the presentation. I don't know, can I share my screen, if possible?
Yes.
Okay. So
Great. We are seeing your screen, Sam. Thank you so much.
okay, I want to share my screen and then start with the presentation as fast as possible. All right, so the project that I want to share with everyone here is called Safe School Project. Is a project that I engaged in during the lockdown, and it has really helped kids, not just in my society, but also in other states as well, to adapt during the lockdown. And it has been of a huge benefit and impact to so many lives. So the Safe School Project came as a result of as a result of children inability to have access to online education. And then we thought of what can we do to bridge this gap and make sure that kids are being carried along in the educational fair and also are participating in the educational activities in their communities. So you can see my screen, right? If I'm not mistaken. Can you see my screen?
I'm sorry, we can't see your presentation.
But you can see my screen?
No.
You can't see my screen?
We are seeing some documents.
Okay, okay. Just hold on. It's opening soon. Okay. I don't know what is happening. It's unable to open. Okay, just hold on. It's opening. Okay.
Maybe you can try to stop sharing
Okay,
and then share
it's
again.
open. Open.
Okay.
You can see, right? You can see Safe School Project Calabar Cross River State. Can you see that?
Not yet.
You can see the Safe School, right? Can you see that, please? I want to know.
We are seeing your downloads folder.
Oh, boy.
Maybe you can. Okay.
If
Maybe
you have
can
any,
send you.
sorry,
Maybe
Can
he
I-
can send you the.
Can I send it to someone who can help me share it? Is it possible?
yes, you can send it to me, Sam.
Okay.
It could be via WhatsApp or email.
Can I have an email? I think. Okay, please let me just send it immediately because I just need to do this presentation with it because it's a slide I prepared.
You can, yeah, I'm going to type the email in the chat. Or via WhatsApp, if you can send it to me, I can share it.
Okay, just. Okay, I have sent it to your WhatsApp. I don't know if you can check your WhatsApp.
Yes, just give me a second.
So let me just start making the presentation while the PowerPoint comes up. So Safe School Project came as a result of children's inability to have access to online education. So I was in a community whereby kids often play around. And then before going to this community, there was a time earlier this year, I wanted to meet with the Commissioner for Education in my state in order to help him in adopting climate literacy for secondary schools and primary schools in my state. So when I met him, that was before the COVID-19 lockdown when I met him, and then we are already implementing the process to make sure that kids in secondary and primary schools are taught climate literacy and all that. So why we are proceeding for it, and the COVID-19 started, and then it led to lockdown of schools nationally. So we were unable to start that process. So during the COVID-19, kids were playing around. While some have access to online education, some doesn't have access to online education. And then I was just thinking, what can we be able to do to take these kids off the streets, to make them educated, to make them be more of an advocate for their communities, for their environment, and also to see how also we can be able to activate them as activists as well, or advocates, whichever way they can be able to suit in. So the idea of safe school came into our mind of how about bringing safe school projects whereby we can engage kids offline, providing them with COVID-19 COVID-19 safety kits that will prevent them from contacting the COVID-19 virus. So though before then, I also received some threats from some persons that were like, hey Sam, if you do this in my community, I'm going to get you arrested because you're not from this place, you're not from this community, you can't come to my community and take over my community. And they're like, so if I want to do something like that, I have to go to my own hometown to make sure I'm doing something like that, that I want to kill their children, I want to kill their kids because it's not mine and all that. But I'm this person that believes in passion, I believe in drive, and then I believe that whatever needs to be done, and regardless of the cost, but it just has to be done. So I don't know if you have gotten the slide, if you have gotten it.
Yes, I have the slides. Just 1 second to share the screen.
Okay, so when this whole process started, we thought about, all right, so what are we going to teach these kids in safe school? Because first of all, our major plan was, okay, so we're going to teach them the normal English, language, mathematics, physics, and just name those subjects, kids learning primary school. So we thought about that, but I really wanted it to be innovative. I really wanted it to be engaging. I never wanted it to be bored, that they are going to be bored and basically be bored with school and also be bored with safe school. So we thought about engaging them in SDGs, engaging them in SDG 13, SDG 17, also SDG 16, which are very passionate to me. We also thought about engaging them in some environmental actions and then taking up some environmental action. So we taught them about climate. We taught them about the need for them to take action for the environment. We also taught them about how important it is for them to know when the environment is in danger, and also when the environment is okay. Now this is the first slide. Okay, so you can see this is online education. So you see someone with a laptop that is running, yeah, it's online, yeah, I have the money, I have the cash, I can go for online. But you can see this, he couldn't do it, this poverty, so it's stricken on the leg, preventing him from also benefiting from this same person that is running for online education. So this is what we saw, and we said, no, this is already creating a gap in society whereby it's only for, it's making the society to look more like the have and neglecting the have not. So we have to bridge that gap. So can you go to the next slide, please? Next slide. Okay, so the effect of COVID-19 crisis on education and work for young people in my community cannot be hidden, as it has created a visible gap between the rich and the poor. In my community, the experience can be said to be the survival of the fittest, borrowing from the words of Herbert Spencer, where only the have, that is the rich, can survive, while the have not die slowly. In aspect of education, those from low-income homes has no means of learning or accessing education online, as they are impeded due to some financial constraints. Children from these homes are often seen moving around the street, playing all day as though that is where their future lies. Since schools are closed due to the global pandemic, with no provision made by the school authority or government to keep them engaged with educational learning tools. On the other hand, children from medium/high income homes are engaged with online classes or private tutor that comes to teach them from time to time. The rich barely mingle with the poor, not because of class, but to keep them safe, to keep themselves safe, as everybody is being careful not to be contaminated with the virus. Okay, you can go to the next slide, please. Earlier this year, before the interstate lockdown in my country, due to the global pandemic, I had an engaging discussion with the Cross River State Commissioner for Education on the need to include climate literacy in the educational curriculum for primary and secondary schools as a fascinating way of tackling climate change. I realized that using children as major actors of climate and environmental advocates will be more sustainable than using adults, because children can adapt easily. As they grow, they can be consistent with a particular behavior if reinforced on them over time. That dream would have been possible until COVID-19 global pandemic evolved, leading to closure of schools nationwide. Nevertheless, the dream never died. Our Safe School project revamped it into reality. So you can take the next slide. Now this is me and the Commissioner for Education. This is me on blue, and next is the Commissioner for Education, and next is the Director for Schools, and next is Director for UBE, that's the Universal Basic Education. So this is the people in charge of education in Cross River State. Okay, so we are hearing of Cross River State. Some of you may have heard of Calabar. So the Calabar is the capital for Cross River State, and these are the people that are in charge of educational board in Cross River State. So these are two volunteers with me. So this is Peter, and this is Grace. Okay, so you can go to the next slide. Safe School Project seeks to assist rural children from low-income homes who cannot afford online education and its accessibility. We devise a means of bringing education close to them by educating them in their communities using a medium, which is a place of gathering close to them, especially those in rural communities. We also adopted the standard educational curriculum through the help of volunteers. Now we have to use volunteers from graduate volunteers who are graduates, who are also teachers, and also volunteers who are also into the climate and environment space. So Safe School Project commenced on the 10th of August 2020 due to the need to provide inclusive and participatory education for all children at the grassroots, and also activate them as environmental actors and advocate for the SDGs, as is currently ongoing in the city of Calabar. Funny enough, Safe School is still ongoing, so just to make everybody know that we didn't close, and Safe School is still ongoing, and we have a very wonderful testimonial video that we made for Safe Schools. Your parents have to share their testimonies, like, wow, this is what Safe School has done for me, this is what Safe School has done for my children, and also we have to engage kids who also share the testimony of what Safe School has done for them. So let's take the next slide. Let's just be fast so that we can wrap up immediately. Okay, so Safe School is a breakthrough. I can remember some of the things I took into consideration before commencing Safe School project. Things like, how do I get to educate volunteers? How do I get educated volunteers? You know, you can't really get educated volunteers except you are ready to pay them. So let's say you want to employ people who are educated, who are graduates. You can't really get them for free anyway. So you need to put in some money to give to them. But I have to get these people free. So they have to volunteer their time to teach Safe School children for free. How to get nose masks for kids, hand sanitizers, running water, and venue. So these things came into consideration. Number of children to teach for this. All these things came into consideration. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Now, this is the mission statement for Safe School: to eradicate illiteracy among children in rural communities from low-income homes by providing them free offline educational services to children in rural communities through the help of volunteers, personal fund, fundraising, and free will assistance. Now, objective of Safe School is our objective to educate, to make education free and accessible to rural children from low-income homes, to bridge the gap of educational inequality in knowledge quotient and equality, in knowledge quotient and quality education accessibility in educational institutions by making education free and accessible to all, to provide children with offline educational learning materials, to activate children at the grassroots as climate and environment actors to protect our planet, to promote and activate the SDGs at the grassroots. This is our objective. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So these are our activities, okay? And these activities are really exciting because I can remember earlier this year, no, last year and this year, I was sharing some of these ideas with people. And then one thing about kids, we should know is that kids, they are very good when it comes to learning, okay? So about Batura talked about behaviors of people in learning. He talked about reinforcement. So I believe kids can easily learn, especially when what they are learning is okay. They can easily be reinforced in what they are learning. So, and they can easily adapt to. So if we want to change the world, I believe kids are first. As a spokesperson for MoCOP 26, I posted something as a spokesperson for MoCOP 26. I posted something and I said, one of the driving force for MoCOP 26 is for government to implement education at all levels, government to implement climate education at all levels, not just talking about geography, which is something that's already in existence, but and education that has to do with climate. So we call it climate literacy at all levels in our educational system. So the activity at Safe School, we do not just teach kids their basic educational subjects using standard educational curriculum. We also educate how to protect their environment through well-informed action like advocacy, climate action, activism. Okay, so the impact of Safe School, so these are our impacts. Okay, we are able to secure a place. Okay, the children shown great level of improvement compared to their performance on Safe on the first day they started. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Next slide, please. Okay, now, sorry, just hold on. Just go back to the next slide. Let me just tweet something good. Okay, now, this project has been replicated in 2 other states in Nigeria, that is Ogun State and Ondo State, respectively. So when people saw the result of Safe School and how it's helping to tackle environmental issues, they replicated it in their own state as well. So let's go on to the next slide. Sustainability plan. Our big sustainability plan for Safe School is to establish Safe School Project Center where children from low-income homes that cannot afford the cost of education can get education at no cost with free educational materials, and also to register it as a center of education for all children. We want to build an educated and literate-driven generation, and to do this, we have to start with the children, especially those from poor or low-income homes or families at the rural communities, which is also the grassroots. Now, next slide, please. Now, this is Safe School. You can see the kids. These are the children, okay, in Safe School. So this is where we hosted them, because we know that this is a temporary venue we can use for now to get these children, since we cannot afford the money the funds to build a bigger venue for them or a bigger platform. So we have to write to people to use their centers as venues. And our plan, what we do each day is to take them for at least 1 hour, 30 minutes a day, educating them on necessary educational topics and also on environmental topics. Now, go to the next slide, please. I think that's the last slide. All right, now this is one of the things we were able to achieve, educating children on recycling and upcycling. So it was really wonderful, because I was thinking about how do we do this. And funny enough, I wasn't in Calabar when all these things happened, okay, but with the help of volunteers, it was really possible. So I was thinking of how do we engage children? How do we teach them recycling and upcycling? How do we get to bring in this mentality of plastic management to them? Because yesterday I was discussing on a panel discussion on a section yesterday rather with I think that was yesterday, yes, where we had a breakout section. So I was telling them something about COVID-19, and I said COVID-19 tackled 2 major things for us, which is carbon emission and air pollution. It tackled it so well, like it tackled it perfectly, that we were like for like decades, for like centuries, we have not seen that kind of result. Okay, but COVID-19 brought in something that for centuries has not been brought in. It brought in more plastic waste. So people have to consume plastic. Like if they do consume plastic once a day, so during COVID-19, we were able to consume plastic like 5 times a day. So it tripled the rate at which plastic waste is being used and is being engaged with by people. So when I thought about these things, we have to engage them in this stuff. So recycling and upcycling. So to tell them, don't dispose, and if dispose responsibly, and mind the way you take these things. So at least single-use plastic is what we are really fighting against. But while fighting against it too, we should have an alternative so that we don't get people engaged in it excessively that can make our environment dirty. I posted something on LinkedIn today, and then it was something I posted, a picture with some write-up I posted in Lagos State, where it is flooded. Now there's a video I shared months back in my Facebook handle, where you can see some persons trying to take out trying to open the drainage center for water to be able to flow easily due to it was blocked by plastic waste. So plastic waste has caused a lot of flood in Lagos State. I can tell you that. It has caused a lot of flood. It has rendered many homes useless and all that. So while we are also in Safe School, we are also promoting sustainable environmental practices, and we are also trying to make the world a better place with kids, because we believe children are the first people, are the first recipients of these things, so that when they come up, when they grow old, they can also be able to take same line without deviating from it. So this is safe school for me. And then safe school, like I said, is still on. Children are still in safe school. Safe school is still intact, and we are still engaging them in safe school. And we know too that we are going to keep engaging them. And our plan is to get safe school all across Nigeria, where everybody will become environmental advocates. That's my plan, to make everybody environmental. So you just be unconsciously, and you're talking about environment. You be conscious and talking about environment. Whatever you do, you're just being conscious about, like, my environment. What am I doing to protect my environment? What am I doing to keep my environment safe? So we want to awaken that consciousness in everybody. It's not just a one-person thing, but it's an all-person thing. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Sam, for sharing this really inspirational work. And I would like to ask the assistants if someone has any questions. While we wait for these questions, I would like to ask you a question, Sam.
Okay, go on.
What is like the main advice that you give for those that want to start like you, that want to create like this awareness in their community? What are like the challenges that you have been facing, maybe personal or professional? What is like your advice for those that want to start like you?
Okay, so my advice for those that want to start like me is, first of all, don't see a problem as too overwhelming, because that's really what takes everybody out. Like, we see a problem as too overwhelming, you just die off. Like, you be like, how do I start? How useful am I to this problem? So what I tell people is, if you're in a society and there's a problem, and that problem doesn't have a solution, it means you are the cause of the problem. So that is my belief anyway. I can't make my belief everybody's belief, but that's my belief. If I'm in a society and there's a problem and I cannot solve it, it means I am the cause of the problem. So as a youth, we are solution driven, we are problem solvers, and we can make our world a better place if everybody starts solving a problem. You may not solve the problem of your whole society, but that little problem that you think nobody's interested in, you can really solve it to make the world a better place. I know of someone that is using chess to teach people how to interact, like chess playing, to teach people how to interact. I know of people that are bringing up innovative ideas, like mind-blowing ideas. So for me, I'm going to say, don't see any problem as too overwhelming for you to do. See it as something you can do, and see it as something that any other person can do more perfectly. And don't see yourself too small to approach anybody, be it the president, be it the governor. It's time we change our mentality on how we approach people. So don't say, I'm too small to approach the prime minister of my country. I'm too small to approach the commissioner of my country. No, see yourself as someone that can go to places and that can talk to anybody and that can get the work done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sam. I totally agree with you, and I really admire all the great work that you have done, and I know that you're going to go more far than you already are. So now, thank you so much, Sam. I would like to give like 2-3 minutes if someone has any questions I want to ask to Sam.
Salma has a question.
Any comment?
Honey?
Sorry?
Salma has a question. She raised the hand, please.
Yeah, she's sharing this in the chat. Congratulations. It's amazing the way you developed the project and help the kids to continue their studies, even with the pandemic. And also we have Kevin that says, when I was in Lagos in 2010, I thought that single-use plastic bags were used to sell water. And there was also the problem of tires that because there were many holes, it was one of the most important business. However, it brought also an environmental issue. Are you addressing these materials with your project and recycling them, Sam?
Okay, so for Lagos currently, earlier this year, I carried out an advocacy program in Lagos rather, where I woke up that morning and then I went to a place to get some stuff, and they brought out some drainage from the gutter and just left it at the roadside. It was really disastrous. Like, I was like, how can they do this? Like you brought out this waste from the gutter and you left it there, and you're not doing anything to solve it. But you know, one thing about mentality of people is that they can bring out ways to solve things, but the other thing is, how do you make it sustainable? So not just solving it, but making it sustainable. Not just saying we want to recycle, but making recycling sustainable. So not just saying we want to teach students how to be environmental activists or advocates, but making it sustainable, making it part of them. So when I went to this place, I saw that yes, they are doing something, but it wasn't sustainable. So I had to call on them. I belong to Lagos State Environmental Platform. So I had to shut them up that this is really what is happening and nobody is doing anything. And this is also circulating dirt and plastic waste everywhere. So they assured me within the next few days that they're going to clean it up. They're going to clean it up. So the next week I went to that place and it was all clean. So one thing I learned is if everybody can become environmental whistleblowers, it will help reduce the rate at which people act against the environment. So what do I mean by environmental whistleblowers? Now you go out and you see that people are disposing waste indiscriminately. You feel like you snapped it and you put it on the social media and you tag your state and you tag the governor. I'd be like, look at what they are doing. Look at what is. So if you can be an environmental whistleblower, now you're not discriminating your state, but you're only acting for the health, for the well-being of your state to make your state clean. So if everybody can be environmental whistleblowers, be like, it's going to reduce many environmental issues we're having currently. That is my own contribution to this. And also, how am I addressing materials with projects and upcycling? So most of the things we are doing actually is local recycling, as you can see based on the video, based on the screen I shared with you, is more on local recycling. And then we believe from local recycling, we can get used to the industrialized way of recycling, whereby we can be able to use plastic and all that to make bricks and turn it to a whole lot of things. But however, we also have an industrialized recycling in Lagos, okay? And no, yes, in Lagos, yes, we have an industrialized recycling in Lagos. We also have an industrialized recycling in Kano. I think these are the two places that have industrialized recycling, where they are using waste material to make great things. And of recent, somebody told me something that was really innovative, and I thought about it. Now, I thought about Hobbit, which is HUBIT. So hold it until you bin it. So if you're holding any dirt, don't dispose it until you dispose it properly. So that is Hobbit. So it tackles issues of plastic waste. So after drinking sachet water, you need to look for where there is disposable can, and where there is a trash can where you can just dispose it. And then somebody told me about trash for cash, like trash for cash, like trash, which is your debt, for cash, which is money. And it was really awesome. Like, do you know how many persons can be able to get to sign up for this? So you're saying to someone, trash, give me your trash for a cash. And they'd be like, wow, that means nobody will be disposing their trash indiscriminately again. So whenever they want to dispose their trash, you know that, this thing has monetary value. So let me just keep it safe. Let me don't dispose it anyhow. Let me just pack it safe. Let me just keep it very clean so that nobody will steal it. In fact, people will secure their trash from even armed robbery, because why? It involves cash. So these are many ways we can be able to tackle plastic pollution in our environment. Now we've seen what plastic pollution is causing to our ocean. We've seen what plastic pollution is causing to our environment. These are many ways we can be able to tackle plastic pollution, not just by saying to people, dispose your trash well, but if you can be able to give them what can motivate them, if you can be able to bring in some motivation inside the trash that can make people dispose it. In fact, not just dispose it, but safeguard it with all their consciousness, is going to go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Somebody else has a question, please?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sam, hey,
Go ahead.
congratulations, Sam,
Thank you.
on your phenomenal, tremendous, relentless effort, always. I just wanted to convey my deepest congratulations. And I was wondering, Sam, Could you talk a little bit about your advocacy at the level of the municipality? Because you've done some inspirational work in terms of advocating with local authorities. And I know from the beautiful family we have here, everybody's trying to amplify their voice, and I think your experience will count for a lot. Would you be able to share just a few words, please?
Okay, so I developed something about advocacy that was days back, and it's really awesome that I developed my own model on advocacy anyway. So I don't use many people's model because I believe the model I have is what has really helped me in so many things I've accomplished, and it has also granted me much more making much informed decisions and taking actions in whatever I am doing. So for me, basically, advocacy is you, is you caring for your body, is you caring for your well-being, is you taking care of that which is a priority to you and nothing else. So first of all, for you to be engaged in advocacy, there are things you have to take into consideration, and there are things you have to do as well for you to make sure that your advocacy skill is really awesome and is really cool. So I'm trying to open something, but I'm not really seeing it. And then I don't really know where I kept that stuff. Okay, now no need. Let me just wrap it up here. So I developed 4 strategies in advocacy. So first of all is the problem. Okay, that is first of all, for advocacy is the problem. Now, what is the problem? What are you advocating for? So you don't just wake up one morning and say, Black Lives Matters. Why do Black Lives Matters? So you have to know what you're advocating for. And Black Lives Matters because they are killing black nations. The racial discrimination is too much. So you know what you're advocating for, okay? And then secondly, you have to know the target. Who is your target? So if I'm saying I'm advocating for climate action, or I'm advocating for sustainable environmental practice, who is my target? Am I targeting Nigeria, or am I targeting my community alone? Or am I targeting whole of Africa? Or am I targeting from grassroots? Who is my target? And second, and the third thing we also have to identify in advocacy are the stakeholders. Okay, so where is the advocacy taking you to? Are you making sure you are carrying the stakeholders along? Are you doing many things to make sure that stakeholders are rightly engaged, or you are just doing it based on your own benevolence and then your own action, your own way to make sure that everything goes well with you and for you and all that? So there are, and also in advocacy as well, there are things too that you also have to think about while involving stakeholders, and that is then people that will add value to your work, and people that will make sure that your work is not disrupted by anybody. Okay, so while engaging in these things, okay, you have to know many things. Okay, so first of all, I define advocacy as First of all, I define advocacy as the act of speaking on behalf or in support of another person, place, or thing. So you can say advocacy is on behalf or speaking for something. So define the problem, the people affected by the problem, and stakeholders, and the fourth thing is possible solution and strategy. Okay, possible solution and strategy. So you don't just say these are the problems I'm tackling, these are the problem I'm solving, but what are the solutions? So you don't just go there and make a hell out of yourself, but you go there, once you're speaking, nobody will tell you you're speaking rubbish. Everybody will want to listen to you because why? You have the solution, you have everything at stake. And then the fifth is a general awareness campaign and sensitization to tackle the problem. So once you have identified this problem, what are you doing to tackle it? Have you just identified the solution and strategies? What measures are you doing to tackle, to enforce the solution and strategies? I say to you that I went to the Commissioner for Education for him to include climate literacy in schools. But did I just stop there? Since schools were shut down, is it that my idea died? No, my idea did not die. I have to say this idea had to come up. So we invented Safe School, whereby that idea can be initiated. Okay. And the last one, and not the least, is call for support from an appeal to necessary organizations or authorities. Okay, now this is where collaboration comes in. Nobody's an island. So in advocacy, you should be able to know how to collaborate. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I told him, look, guy, if you don't collaborate, you cannot survive in anything you are doing. If you don't collaborate, because what collaboration helps you do is it helps you reduce cost, it helps you reduce time, and it helps you reduce challenge, it helps you reduce pressure, it helps you reduce mental imbalance, because that's what many of us are facing these days, mental imbalance, like mental instability. So we are mentally stressed and we cannot be able to do anything. But when you collaborate, it helps reduce those things for you. So what we have to know about advocacy is you and advocacy is me. If we can be able to take up the responsibility to speak out, and not just speaking out, but act, and not just act, but promote, and not just promote, but to collaborate, it will help go a long way to tackle most of the climate issues, most of the environmental issues, and societal issues we are facing currently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel. I would like to ask you something very short. Is the education that you are proposing, that you are following now, in the regular curricula of the kids now, or is in addition of their curricula?
Okay. Maybe I may make a mistake in saying curriculum anyway, but all right. So we adopted. Let me do what adopt, because it's not our own. So curriculum takes years to build. It takes time to formulate. So we adopted a curriculum, an educational curriculum, or an educational framework. Let me use that word, an educational framework to teach the students. Like they have mathematics, English, CRK, religious studies, geography, government. Now these are their studies they learn in school, but they don't learn climate in school. They don't learn SDGs in school. They don't learn sustainable environmental practices in school. So all these things they don't learn in school are the fun aspect of the educational process that will keep them engaged and not go out, and also to keep them much more active. So it makes it different with what they learn in class. So if they go in class, they tell them 1 + 1 is 2. They come to us, we tell them as well 1 + 1 is 2, but we give them an innovative means of 1 + 1 is 2 by telling them, all right, so let's say we engage in one community and engage in another community in environmental action. So we have done 2 communities. Okay. So it makes them much more engaged. Is more of a playful way of learning, or more of an innovative way of learning that we are trying to imbibe in students, in children, that will bring about sustainable environmental practices in protection to our planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel, for this really extraordinary presentation and the work that you are doing in your community for education. Vanessa, we have another question somewhere there, or that's it?
Yeah, I think that we only have some comments from Lauren Selberg that says your project looks amazing. Good luck with it. Stuti Mishra that says amazing work, Samuel. Dr. Ash Pachauri, you're incredible, Sam. So I think that. Thank you. Also, Stuti Mishra is sharing that it was an amazing session. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, everyone. And Kevin also says, I like your passion. Keep it that way and you will achieve great things. Yeah, thank you so much, Sam, for giving us this great session to all, and for taught us in that way, all the amazing work you're doing. Dr. Norma, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel. Really congratulations for this project. Well, to finish, because we have some minutes left, I would like to highlight some of the key points that Dr. Sang said to us with the video. The first of all, youth for a change. Education fundamental to change the ways of consumption and the lifestyle. Because if we continue with the same behavior, our future is compromised. Propose environmental education, the case that Sam is doing, in the textbooks for kids and youth levels to generate values that they are very important now. Insist of lifestyle change to have a possible better future for the next generations. Economy and consumption needs to be focused for the future. Talking about pop movement, he said, I believe that the legacy of Dr. Erkki Pachori, today in hands of his son, Dr. Ash Pachori, give us the opportunity to all of us. It is a very strong guide that will bring us towards a better world. And with these words, I want to say, remember that we're still having a small window of opportunity, like always our mentor is telling us. Let's take it. Let's take a work and let's take an action now. Thank you so very much for your presence with us today. And we hope to see you again working and taking actions everywhere and with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your
Before we
presence.
go, Doctora,
Yeah.
I would like to invite everybody to our next workshop, that is Hack Yourself. It's an introduction to mind-body conversation with Patricia Clower. So we are starting this great workshop, so I would like to have you there. I'm going to share the link. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can join us, please. Thank you so much, everybody, for having us here.
Should we get a picture before we go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, here goes.
I will do it.
Let's smile and open our cameras.
Okay.
Way to go, Sam.
Go,
Sam.
Further, Sam. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thank you.
Go, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Thank
Keep
you.
strong.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Everybody. See you in the next room then.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. See you
See
next.
you in the next workshop.
See you.
Bye.
See you in the next room,
Bye.
right? A big